Hello, Internet, and welcome to the Story Nook. Today we're going to be reading more of I'd Rather Have a Cat Than a Harem. We're continuing on with Chapter 11. I'm on page 205. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That was a bookmark to read summaries of other novels. But our author is Kozuzu Kobato, our artist is Hinano Chano, and our tagline is reincarnated into the world of an otome game as a cat-loving villainess. Here we have our main character Amy, Edward the Crown Prince, his owl Rudel, and Amy's cat Tigger. And we left off at the last sentence at the beginning of page 205. Go ahead, grab your tea, your water, your hot cocoa, whatever it is, and we'll hop in. Today I've got some of that peach punch from American Deli that I got 2 weeks ago. That's just been sitting in my fridge because I haven't been drinking my drinks. I drink water throughout the whole entire week, and my husband is becoming frustrated with the random assortment of drinks I have in the fridge. So, yay. I hope you're all doing well. Also, leave comments. Let me know what other things you would like me to read in the future. And right now, my goal is to try to read 15 minutes a day and then have a video up once a day and then, oh yeah. So Amy had given up on instruments and specialized in listening instead. When the music classes she picked out were not practical learning, but appreciation, music history mainly. Even the music classes she picked out were not practical learning, but appreciation, music history mainly. Is that right? That's pretty annoying, said Jahal. Well, it's fine, because he's cute. Jahal grinned, lost in thoughts about Tigger. Amy squeezed her hands together over her chest and smiled. She could go on forever about cats, even if she was talking to a foreign royal she had just met for the first time. So what song are you playing, Jahal asked Rosalid. Oh, it's... Rosalid told Jahal the name of the song. It was a quite difficult piece, but it was a famous song that everyone had heard before. Oh, exclaimed Edward, turning to his childhood friend. Don't you know how to play that song, Alex? Oh, wow, said Letizia. Then what do you think about playing with her? That's too much. You don't have to do that, said Rosalid, putting her hands up, completely bewildered at how the conversation had spiraled. Her reaction was only natural. Playing a duet with an unbelievably handsome son of a duke in front of so many people would be terrifying. Unless you happen to be one of those ambitious ladies who hope to marry up, Rosalind would probably have felt much more at ease playing with Alexander's mother, the Duchess of Coverdale, whom she was connected with through Porta. Amy and Rosalid had become friends through their love of cats and their shared interest, and they both had similar feelings toward love and marriage. Neither were yet engaged, nor did they wish to be. Rosalid loved books, and her dream was to remain unmarried and become a librarian. But recently, her parents and the lady of the house she was staying at had started recommending various bachelors to her. So, her parents and the lady of the house that she's staying at. So, the person she's staying with another lady. She's staying at someone else's house, and the lady, the madam of that house, is like, let me introduce you to some nice men. Because you are old enough to be married, even though I think y'all are only 13. I don't know. Really? Asked Alex. It's truly not. Alec, interrupted Edward. The twice-weekly music classes are at the same time as Sir Dion's magic practiums, aren't they? Hold up. Weren't you... Oh, Letizia asked if he would play. You should be able to get the minimum credit even if you miss some classes for this. Any trouble or anything, Alec finished. Do you have the sheet music on you now? The twice weekly music classes are at the same time as magic practice. And he should be able to get the minimum credit even if he misses some of those classes that he has to take. Okay. Edward, why are you bringing this up? You're just like, schedule. Alexander didn't look very excited, but at Edward's convincing appeal, he got up from his chair. Huh? Oh, yes, said Rosalind. Here it is. All right, then. The recital is at the end of this month, so that gives me 2 weeks. I should be able to swing it. What? Really? Of course. Well, looks like I'm busy, Ed. I'll leave Jahal's tour of the school to you. I need just a moment. Sure, I understand. There wasn't anyone in the Royal Academy who would pass up the opportunity to miss Sir Dion's lessons for legitimate reasons. Alexander had accepted the sheet music with a smile and was now jovially humming to himself as he thumbed through the pages. Rosalind, who was always a calm, stable person in the group, was all aflutter, unable to grasp what had just happened. I think Rosalind has found a possible match. Maybe. It does seem like Alexander earlier had a crush on Amy. However, I think he conceded because he realized Edward's crush was probably... Edward probably liked Amy more than he liked her. Amy felt a little privileged to have been able to see something so rare. Well, we should have asked Alex from the beginning, said Amy. You can breathe a little easier now, can't you, Rosalind? Asked Letizia. Amy, Letty, what should I do? I'm still nervous. Just now for a different reason. Before she could change her mind, Alexander quickly helped Rosalind to her feet, and they headed toward the professor's office to tell him the news. While secretly thinking Rosalind resembled a lamb being carried off to slaughter, Amy and Letizia watched her leave, smiling and waving at her as she frequently looked back at them. We should get going soon, too, huh? Asked Amy. Turning to Letty. I probably should have asked earlier, Ed, said Jahal, but can't Letty be the one who gives me a tour of the school? I have a class after this, she protested. What a cruel twist of fate. Letizia said a few parting words, but then Jahal suddenly pulled her back by the hand and planted a magnificent kiss on his fiancée's soft cheek. Amy, about to shout in surprise, put a hand over her mouth, the other over her eyes, and froze, peeking through a gap between her fingers. Okay, so she put one over her mouth and then one over her eyes and was peeking through her fingers. Very comical, Amy. You're adorably precious. Letizia was speechless. It's a good luck charm to repel bugs, Letty, Jahal claimed. As Amy was appreciating the beautiful way Letizia was turning the color of a red rose, a tart appeared in front of her. Without a moment's hesitation, Amy leaned forward and ate it. As she chewed, Jahal descended from the terrace into the courtyard. Edward stood up to follow him and smiled at the two girls. Well, I'll see you later, Amy. Letizia, I'll look after Prince Jahal. It's not like he's mine or anything. Maybe we should just leave it at that then, ladies. Letizia and Amy curtsied at the retreating figures of the two princes. Amy said under her breath, I heard him kiss you. Letizia jumped. What? Amy! So should I just blurt out who fed you that tart just now? Amy gasped. What? Amy had both of her hands covering her face, and it was impossible that the tart could have just flown into her mouth on its own. Naturally, someone had fed it to her. When she realized this, she suddenly felt so hot she thought steam might start rising from the top of her head. After the two girls ran off to class, the ladies remaining in the lounge felt so sweetened by the scene. It was as if they had been drizzled in honey. And we have kitty paws. Edward just went, you're having a moment here, let me feed you tarts. The grounds of the Royal Academy were large. There were several buildings in the classrooms. For learning, buildings predominantly used for practiums. I said that word earlier. I did. I know I did. Practiums and training sessions, and professors' libraries. There were also other facilities, like libraries, professors' laboratories, There were also other facilities, like libraries, lounges, and dining halls. and the student dormitories were at the perimeter of the grounds, except for one tower. Almost all the buildings were low-rise, so they were arranged spaciously across the expansive grounds. The huge garden had a large pond and a greenhouse, and it was surrounded by a well-maintained walking path. The students studying horsemanship also rode there. It would have been impossible to show Jahal everything in half a day, so Edward took him around the most important locations. The magic training building is here. The practice field for sword fighting is that building with the blue roof on the other side. Oh, it simply switched tabs. Pardon me. My hands is really cold because, like, my house is not even at, like, 50-ish degrees. There we go. Pardon me, just moving things around. The magic training building is here. The practice field for sword fighting is that building with the blue roof on the other side. Oh, here, whoa! You guys have a strong defensive barrier. At a glance, the building just looked like an ordinary building for magic training, but it had been enchanted with powerful defensive magic. Jahal had picked up on this right away. Edward looked at him with surprise. The Kingdom of Bark placed such cultural importance on swordsmanship that magic shouldn't have been his strong suit. Jahal shrugged lightly and looked up, amused by Edward's surprise. There's been more emphasis placed on magic in my kingdom recently, but I'm really just here to observe. I'm not very good at using it. I see, but Sir Dion's class is included in your curriculum, isn't it? Well, I suppose. It looked as though news of the demon professor, the one Alexander had so gleefully ran away from, had even reached ears in foreign kingdoms. Everyone's so afraid of Sir Dion. They called him a demon professor, but he adores Amy. Jahal sighed and explained that because of all the trouble it had taken for him to enroll here as a special case, he had been given strict orders to learn as much as possible before returning home. I can't hear a thing coming from the building. Our class is still going on. Yes, in fact, that's the building your fiancée should be in for her class. Letty's really good at magic, said Jahal, puffing out his chest as if his fiancée's skills were his own. Amy must be in class too, Edward nodded. Letty had told me in her letters that Amy could do healing magic, but I was shocked to learn the extent of her skill. I had no idea her skills were that legit. I really thought she was, at best, just playing pretend. But then afterward, they get normal medical care. It's more effective on animals, Edward noted. Yeah, Rosalind mentioned that earlier. You must really like her, huh? Even as they left and headed to the next location, they continued talking about magic and the girls in their lives, who were good at it. So how was it actually meeting Letty's friends? Edward asked. Rosalind was exactly what I had pictured, but Amy was more of a mixed bag. Letty's letters had quickly become more flattering toward her, so I couldn't help wondering what she was all about. High-ranking aristocrats were typically genetically related somewhere along the line, and Letty's father, Marquis Elphinstone, was related to Alexander's mother, Duchess Coverdale. As soon as the Elphinstone family had returned to Laodicea, they paid a friendly visit to the Duchess. At that time, it was only natural that Amy Northland, her favorite cat companion, and Letty's would-be classmate would be brought up in conversation. The Duchess spoke very favorably about her, but Laodicea didn't intentionally have a very good impression of Amy. Part of the reason was that, although Amy was the granddaughter of Marquis of Wellham, a heavyweight in aristocratic circles, she was really just the daughter of an earl. The fact that she was the only remaining fiancé candidate for Prince Edward, and had been in limbo in that position for so long, had always stuck with Laodicea. To be a fiancé candidate for that long without making any progress, Laodicea couldn't help wondering if there was something wrong with her. All the rumors she had heard about Amy had been negative, although most of them were digs at her appearance. It seemed as though her cousin Alexander liked Amy too. Her cousin was generally very capable and followed a personal rule, especially toward women, to treat everyone with a friendly attitude and an impartial mind. Laetitia could tell from every word that he had a special fondness for her. Plus, if she could be friends with Sir Dion, it was natural to be suspicious of what kind of person she was. I'm gonna finish this page. Laetitia frequently visited the royal palace at the Kingdom of Bart during her stay there, and she saw many games of politics and love up close and in person. Laetitia dare not say it in front of the Duchess Coverdale, but she was suspicious that, at the behest of Marquis Wellham, Amy was currying favor with the Duchess, leading both Prince Edward and Alexander around by the nose, and hatching some evil plan. She had shared these suspicions in her letters to Jahal, but the letters had also shown that, ever since meeting Amy in person, Laetitia's suspicions had dwindled day by day until they had vanished completely. Liddy said that the first time she saw Amy, she had been healing a student's injuries in class. Were you there too, Ed? And with this, I will continue, and we are on page 210. So we'll finish this page later, and then read for another 15 minutes tomorrow, as I want to try reading for about 15 minutes a day-ish. So I hope you all have a lovely day. Remember to stay healthy, stay hydrated, all that good jazz. If you want to help continuing support me, just put my videos on the background. Watch time helps. Leave comments. That's always good for our YouTube overlords. I'm not monetized on any of my YouTube channels at this moment. I'm missing watch times for the main one and subscribers for the other two. So yeah, I hope you all have a great day. Other ways you can support me, I have Patreon and Ko-fi. My commissions are open on Ko-fi, and I am also planning on opening a small, like, little, I'm going to be selling some items. I'm going to be getting some of my artwork made into acrylic charms, and so those will be sold next year, maybe, hopefully. I'm going to buy them for Christmas, and hopefully they'll be here next year. I'm going to turn them into earrings and some clip-on earrings, so we'll see about that. And I've also been publishing short stories, so if you want to read any of my work that I write with my original characters, you can find them on any ebook store, those being like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, all that stuff. So yeah, have a lovely day. Bye-bye.